On today's edition of ECONEWS, we are going to explore the catastrophic biodiversity loss in global ecosystems and how that loss is being replicated on the human microbiome. Stay with us as our experts explain the importance of protecting our environment and wildlife and how our personal health is connected to this crisis. Kit Whalen Russell, a planetary geophysicist, with his twin brother, Sam Whalen Russell, a nuclear astrophysicist, co-founded the Skin Microbiome School in the United Kingdom. Kit explains the link between biodiversity loss and the global chronic disease epidemic. Working with healthcare professionals all over the world, he explains concrete solutions to improving skin health.
As a scientist and co-founder of the Skin Microbiome School, as our world's global ecosystems are being destroyed and we're seeing a catastrophic biodiversity loss, as ecologists like David Attenborough like to call it, what I've noticed through my line of research is that the human microbiome, the human organisms which reside in and on the human body, are also being destroyed at a very rapid rate. So, for example, we have seen in the gut microbiome, humans have lost around 50% of our primate ancestors' microbes. Estimates are saying that at the moment. But also on the skin microbiome, research is estimating that we could have lost from anywhere from 30% to 84% of the biodiversity of the microorganisms which live and reside on our skin. So as we've been reminded by scientists, it's essential to look after global ecosystems and stop the catastrophic biodiversity loss happening in ecosystems all around the world. What my line of research is showing at the moment is that it could be crucial to stop the catastrophic biodiversity loss happening on the human microbiome, and more specifically on the human skin. At the moment, we are seeing a huge rise in chronic diseases in the Western world, and many scientists have linked this chronic disease epidemic to the catastrophic biodiversity loss in the human gut. But what many haven't linked at the moment is the skin to all of these problems. And now, as everyone knows, the human body is one interlinked ecosystem, just a bit like we are part of the Gaia ecosystem of the planet and global ecosystems as a whole. The human body is the same. So if the gut and catastrophic biodiversity loss in the gut is implicated in the large rise in chronic diseases in the Western world, then our line of research at the moment is investigating whether the skin microbiome and catastrophic biodiversity loss in the skin is also related to the chronic disease epidemic in the Western world. There's a very germ-phobic attitude to microbes and bacteria in the Western world at the moment, and we always hear on the news and in media adverts about how it's essential to kill all bacteria. Whereas in actual fact, bacteria which inhabit every niche and every part of our body are incredibly important for our overall health. Many research studies have been done in the human gut showing how the human gut has been linked, or biodiversity loss in the human gut has been linked to a huge plethora of chronic diseases, such as Parkinson's, other neurodegenerative diseases, autoimmune disorders, such as systemic sclerosis, and other things such as food allergies and asthma. But the same importance has not been given to the microbes that reside on the skin, and that's our line of research. New research at the moment has shown that damaged skin can lead to not just skin problems, but also more whole body and systemic problems too. At the Skin Microbiome School, we recommend products which have been formulated to be 100% truly natural and not contain any ingredients, synthetic additives which have been found to be harmful to the skin microbiome or to degrade the skin microbiome ecosystem. We formulated a body wash, a face wash, and a vegan version of each. And we now have a therapist range of products which has been exclusively started all around the world. These have been formulated differently depending on the different body site they are for. So for example, the body has a different microbiome to the face, so we formulated the ingredients slightly differently so that synergistic formulation could enrich the microbiome on both of those places and could increase the biodiversity on both those two places. At JOOMO, spelt JOOMO, we are always striving to make sure that every part of a supply chain is ethical. The catastrophic biodiversity loss in ecosystems happening worldwide and the parallel catastrophic biodiversity loss on the human microbiome shows the importance of conserving these ecosystems worldwide and on our own personal ecosystem. Because, as we've shown, there is a link between this catastrophic biodiversity loss and the large rise in chronic health problems sweeping across the Western world. So if we can conserve both, could this have a domino effect for not just animals worldwide, but also for human health? And the human body is made up of many different ecosystems. One in the human gut, which is most popular and has been linked to a wide range of chronic diseases afflicting the Western world. My area of the skin microbiome, which damage to it has now been shown to be linked to many diseases. But even in the mouth, where a breakdown of the microbiome in the mouth has been linked to other whole body systemic problems.
Dr. Gary Shapiro is the co-founder and president of the Orangutan Republic Foundation. He has worked professionally as an environmental scientist, cleaning up toxic environments. Gary has devoted his whole life to protect wild ecosystems and endangered wildlife, especially in the Indonesian rainforests. He has witnessed firsthand the destructive effect of biodiversity loss.
I've been working to save biodiversity for decades, predominantly in the country of Indonesia on the island of Borneo, where my favorite animal, the orangutan, lives. And orangutans are really an ambassador for the biodiversity of the area. In fact, the island supports some of the largest populations of diverse animals and plants anywhere in the world. Compared to its size and its extent, it has a greater percentage than probably most other places in the world, maybe except for Amazon and a few places like that. And of course, we know that the biodiversity of Borneo and many other places in the world are threatened by the human presence. Since the 1500s, we've exterminated over 650 vertebrates, large ones, everything from the dodo, the passenger pigeon, and many, many others. In fact, we're not sure exactly how many large vertebrates we have destroyed as human beings, but it's quite considerable. We're on the brink now of the destruction of many, many more animals and plants on our planet, which support us and support the life systems that we all depend upon. And we call this time, we're now calling it the Anthropocene, because of the real important presence that humans have had on the impact on the planet. And during this period of time, we've decimated large tracts of rainforest, we're polluting the oceans, we are really putting at threat, literally, millions of species, many of which we have never named, and we have to realize that we have a responsibility to ensure the long-term survival of the biodiversity on our planet. The biodiversity of our planet is really an interconnected symbiosis that we have to realize that if we start removing species, it impacts other species, including ourselves. And just like Paul Ehrlich said years ago, if we start removing the rivets of an airplane, how long will it take before that airplane ceases to fly? The biosphere encompasses not only the entire planet and the life systems of the planet, but it extends to the human ecology. We have to realize that even on ourselves, we have an ecology on our skin. We have cells, mostly bacteria, which protect us inside our bodies and outside of our bodies. Well, this has become an important aspect of our health in this world today, because we are now being subjected with chemicals, antiseptics, antibiotics. We have to realize that to be in perfect harmony and in good health, we have to balance the ecology of the microbiomes in us and on our skin, along with the microbiomes of the soils and other parts of the environment. As a scientist, I've spent many years in the field studying wild orangutans and ex-captive orangutans. In fact, I taught sign language to the ex-captive orangutans in Borneo. At the same time, having a chance to see what's going on in the environment there, makes me understand that it's very, very important that we take care of the orangutan as an ambassador of the forest, keeping in mind that if we take care of the charismatic animals like orangutans, we also take care of the lesser popular animals that would include probably insects that most people wouldn't even know about, which are extremely important in pollination and in cycling nutrients in the environment. Again, we remember that orangutans are an umbrella species. So, as I said, by protecting orangutans, we protect the other less charismatic species.
Molly Basler is an actress, environmental activist, and vegan advocate who is a leader with the Climate Reality Project. She discusses the importance of every individual taking personal actions to help solve the climate crisis and biodiversity loss.
I became an environmental activist because of my concern for the destruction of the planet, that we are heading into a mass extinction. So if our planet isn't healthy, the human beings who live here aren't. It's like living in a house that is filthy and its foundation is falling apart. So one affects the other. My whole thing became about people, planet, and animals. It's all interconnected, and my thing is about food, what we put into our body, everything we do, the products we support, everything needs to be where it's not harming people, planet, or animals. The way we raise animals, mass producing, is the destruction of so much biodiversity. It is bad for the land, it's bad for the animals, it pollutes our water. They put animal waste from these factory farms into rivers that go into the ocean, and there are actually dead zones in our ocean where absolutely nothing can live because of this animal waste that is created by factory farming. The consumer products that we use, we need to start looking at how they're made. Are they tested on animals? Do they have chemicals in them? I see people at yoga studios slathering their bodies with petroleum oil, it's a product of the gas and oil industry, and it's unbelievable. Most people don't even know that. Without a biodiversity, we do not have a planet, and we are destroying it at record speed. And from overpopulation, sprawl, urban building of homes, and we are destroying forests for paper, toilet paper, and it is time that we stop, because it's, like I said, the clock is ticking, and we have to take this very seriously. What we do here reaches out all over the world. There's a great line in quantum physics. We say, if you take one grain of sand off of the beach, does it affect the beach? And the answer is, you bet it does. If we stand together here, we can create a change there in another country. Where we shop is really important, that we go to our local farmers market. We don't use plastic. We stand up for things. And sometimes, it makes it more difficult to not shop online and go to your local market or the small businesses, but that helps support our economy. Healthy body, healthy planet. I am so passionate about being healthy which creates a healthy planet. It all goes hand in hand. I created a vegan cookbook for beginners, the Yogini Linguini Vegan Cookbook. It's a win-win-win-win. There's no need to keep eating meat and dairy and supporting corporations that are killing us and destroying the planet.
Many people have unhealthy skin, which is thought to be partially due to toxic chemicals used in our everyday cleaning products and cosmetics. To find out the extent of this problem, I've invited some friends to meet Kit Whalen Russell, our skin microbiome scientist, who will analyze their cosmetics.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice
I
to
love
meet
your
you.
dress.
Thank you so much. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
Nice to meet you. Right guys, so I brought you here because each of you has picked 3 cosmetics from your bathroom, and I want you to tell me what you think the percentage of synthetic additives is in your cosmetics you've picked. So we're going to start with my right. Bethany, what do you think?
I'd say 35%.
35%, okay. Sarah, what do you think?
I would say 40%.
Okay, Catherine, what is your estimate?
I would say 25%.
25%. And Immaculate, finally you, what's your
30%. 30%.
30%? So, by my estimates, the average is around about 30%. So, the thing I've noticed is you guys already, you feel like the foods you eat and the chemicals you ingest, you're probably more wary about them than the chemicals you put on your skin. Is that right? Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If you're more worried about ingesting chemicals than putting them on your skin, you guys think that you've got 30% synthetic chemicals in your products, but you would never eat any of that. Do you guys get the double standards there a little bit? Okay, that's good. That's progress. We have got progress there. That's brilliant. Right, I'm going to go around each of you individually, starting with Bethany on my right. Okay, I'm going to give you the results about the average amount of synthetic chemicals in your cosmetics.
Okay.
Are you ready? You said, what did you say?
I said 35%.
35%. Okay, are you ready for the results?
I'm ready.
You ready? You guys, could you give a drum roll, please? Good. So, the results are in. Bethany, don't look.
I'm nervous.
So yours, on average, was 60 to 68%
Oh
synthetic chemicals.
Are you? Oh.
And you said 30.
I said 35.
35,
Yeah.
exactly. Which would be a huge amount if it were in foods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
60, so you're slathering on 60 to 68% synthetic chemicals on your body daily.
Oh my god.
Do you use those products daily?
I do. I really do.
How shocking was that for you?
I thought it'd be less. Like
Right.
A little bit less, like 30s, but no, that's a lot.
Okay.
That's a lot.
That's almost 2/3 of the product, which is synthetic chemicals.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And actually, some of your products which you told me about, they said they were from natural origins and they contained loads of chemicals such as MI and MCI, which have actually been banned in Europe and Canada because they're so bad for the skin and they cause allergic reactions and they cause all kind of reactions from the body. We can go next to Sarah. So Sarah, I'm going to find your results. Are you ready?
I'm
you said,
ready.
Remind you what you said.
I said 40%.
40%, so you're slightly higher than Bethany.
Slightly.
So yours on average were, actually your main cosmetic was actually 81% synthetic ingredients.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But overall, I would say your average synthetic ingredient percentage was around about 70-67%,
That's really bad. That's really
which is
bad.
still higher than Bethany's.
That is.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I'll read you out a couple of quotes
Okay.
from your products,
Okay.
including the 81% one. They said, safe and effective for everyone. We're committed to being transparent and we're happy to tell you exactly what goes into every bottle. So do you think you're happy that they told you exactly what goes into every bottle?
I'm not happy now that I hear the percentage.
But if there was a food on the shelf which said, okay, this is full of 81% synthetic chemicals, would you eat it?
No, I wouldn't even look at it.
Right. In the food industry, organic means 0% synthetic chemicals, whereas in the cosmetics industry, organic can mean anything ranging from 0 to 70% synthetic chemicals. So it shows you that there's a labelling disparity between the food and the cosmetics industry.
Yeah.
Moving on to you two, I'm going to do you two together because you had similar products. So, how confident are you guys feeling about your percentages?
We're confident.
Confident?
Yep.
Okay, I love the confidence. However, I feel you may be disappointed, both of you. Are you ready for your results?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so, on average in your cosmetics, there were around about 60% synthetic additives or chemicals in them.
That's really hot.
That's double what you guys said.
Yes.
Okay, so even from when you guys have brilliant skin, but as you're from Africa, Kenya, the same rules still apply. You still have to keep your skin healthy if you want whole body health as well. Thanks everybody. So what I've ascertained from that is that our perceptions of the synthetic chemicals we're putting on our skin is totally different from the reality compared to, say, what we're putting in our bodies, in our foods. So it doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're from Latin America, whether you're Northern European Jewish, or you're from Kenya in Africa, the skin is the same. It needs to be protected and nourished for whole body health to be perfect. Everyone knows the importance of taking care of what we put in our bodies, but now hopefully you guys understand the importance of what we put on our bodies to restore the biodiversity of our skin for whole body health. I got both of you to pick 3 cosmetics from your bathroom, and I want you now to tell me how many synthetic chemicals you think on average are in your products. Okay, so I'm going to start with my right, which is Molly. What is your estimation?
I would say 2%.
Cindy, what is your estimate about the amount of synthetic chemicals in your cosmetics?
I'm still going to say probably 30%, just because these are more available on the market.
Molly, are you ready for the results?
Yes.
You seem very confident with that 2%.
But I
estimation.
am, but I'm a little nervous that I may, if I'm off, then I've plundered.
The disparity between you and Cindy is quite large. Molly, your average statistic was 77 to 80%
Oh my
synthetic chemicals.
God, no
What?
way.
Compared to 2%.
Whoa.
I feel embarrassed.
Whoa.
Well, what? So from the products that I thought were so good for me, the planet, for the animals, and everything, and even though I've read the labels and everything, I've still been duped.
Absolutely. Most people feel like that, Molly. Don't worry. I'm going to read you out a couple of quotes from your product just to see if you notice the disparity. But products you said, or gave to me, they said ingredients of natural origin, biological or eco-certified, biodegradable, and those that allow us to respect and encourage biodiversity. In the US, your regulations are more lax than the UK.
Yes, I know, in everything.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
everything.
I'm gonna call them.
Call them.
I am.
Call them, Molly.
So you said 30%,
Yeah.
which sounds quite a lot on the face of it.
Mm,
Okay, right. Are you ready for your results?
I am. Oh gosh.
Okay, so your results are, on average, 65%
Oh.
synthetic chemicals.
Really? Wow. There's different product lines. I mean, even commercially, if you walk into one of those major stores and you say, I want cruelty free, there's only 2 or 3, you know, right? And then some of those brands have also been nailed lately for their chemical additives that are banned in the UK.
Yeah.
You know, in other places. So
Yeah.
I don't, our versions in America, we allow so much in, and even the same company makes them cleaner in other countries.
Right.
That's what drives me crazy.
The FDA always allows, well, you don't have any restrictions on the chemicals you can put in your
So
product.
then people are making money by dumping chemicals into what we have here, and then we wonder why our healthcare is crazy.
Right.
The last point I would make is that also, if we are using all these chemicals on our body and we are harming our own microbiome, as a physicist, I realise that the small changes we could make in an ecosystem have wide-ranging effects to the whole system.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if we're washing out huge amounts of chemicals into our natural ecosystems, this could also massively negatively affect them. So from an ecological standpoint, that is also going to be very harmful.
1000%.
Yeah.
We learned that during the pandemic too.
It's important that this idea of using beneficial bacteria as a way to maintain the harmony of the environment or whether it's in the soils or on our skin or in our bodies, is understood and maintained.
In order to save the planet, our biodiversity, our ecosystems, we need to recognize and address overpopulation. And nobody is doing that. So the time is now. We cannot sustain and save our planet with 9 billion people on the planet. We need to address overpopulation.
As a planetary geophysicist, I know the importance of understanding that every ecosystem is underpinned by complex physics processes, such as chaos theory, which shows that a change in any small part of one system could have disproportionate effects to the system as a whole, which is why I believe, and research is currently highlighting, that the catastrophic biodiversity loss of the human microbiome is a major contributor to the chronic disease epidemic in the Western world.
I hope that you have been inspired to take action on both the global and the personal level to protect our Earth's ecosystems and the microbiomes of our own human bodies. On behalf of our nonprofit organization, Educational Communications and ECONEWS, I'm Nancy Perlman, wishing you a natural, unspoiled environment.